Which Chicago Bulls player is most likely to be traded if a trade does go down this season? Me and Pat are going to discuss our thoughts on that and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network. We're your team every single day. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And that's Pat, the designer, host, and creator of the Windy City Breeze and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. Today's episode is sponsored by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Pat, a lot of trade talk around the Chicago Bulls right now. For what it's worth. The Bradley Beal thing's kind of been shot down. Thank you, because Bradley, we didn't want you here anyway either. Right? I'm just telling you, I don't think there's anybody who sat there and said, no, I take that back. I did get a mailbag episode on Central where a guy was like, well, maybe Bradley Beal can provide a spark for the Bulls. I was like, are you smoking?
That's a $56 million spark.
$56 million. That's a crazy spark there, brother. But other than that one guy, I don't think many people were hopeful that Bradley Beal or excited about the concept of Bradley Beal coming here. We wanted those picks, not you, brother. So stay where you are. But other than that, we've heard some trade rumblings and rumors around Vooch and Lonzo Ball kind of being the most two that seem like they're garnering the most interest. We had a post the other day from Evan Sidri in which 6 teams have reportedly called the Chicago Bulls on Lonzo Ball. The Orlando Magic, both LA teams, the Detroit Pistons were another team in there, the Minnesota Timberwolves. And then as far as on the Vooch side of things, of course, we've known the Golden State Warriors. They just don't want to give up a first-round pick. They're willing to give up seconds. The Dallas Mavericks have sniffed around that as well, and also the Lakers have been rumored as being interested in Vooch. So when you look at all of that, who do you think the most likely Bull, if anyone? I know that the most likely nothing's happening, but if you had to choose one that's most likely, who you feeling?
Honestly, it is Vooch. I think that he is the one to me that every team in the NBA is always looking for a Vooch. It's just a big man that you take that for what you will. A big man that rebounds well, that can get his own shot, that can create his own shot, that you don't have to worry about offensively at all, can get, when he wants to, can get active defensively. He doesn't want to very often. He fits in perfectly with most of these center power forward / guys because he can be the legit center on the team. I think about when the Lakers called about, or the idea of trading Nikola Vucevic, I should say, to the Lakers is it makes sense because Anthony Davis barely wants to be in the paint. He wants to be that guy that is operating face up, able to drive more, able to be looking at the basket, trying to get his shot. Like, look, that's who he wants to be. That's who he's always wanted to be. And the Lakers keep going, get down there in the paint. Get back in the paint. Why are you out here? You shouldn't be standing next to LeBron. Get in the paint. I just think this opens things up for him so much more. And it's every team in this league.
Yeah, I think also not only just the offensive side of it, it frees Anthony Davis up to be more of a defensive impact if he's not guarding players that outweigh him by 20 pounds and kind of float around there, protect the rim more, those type of things. He's turned into a really good switchable big as well. So I think that there's some sense that makes sense there. I get what you're saying, and I'm not saying that I necessarily disagree with you. I think that Lonzo kind of is the most likely one to be moved. Here's why. It takes less to get Lonzo, as the Bulls reportedly, their asking price is just second-round pick compensation. Yeah. And I also think that Lonzo is a type of player that I think next season, the most he's going to get offered is the mid-level exception. Now, follow me with this. If a team was to trade for him now, they would have to, have a contract that they don't want anyway, right? That they know that is going to let expire. But if you trade for him now, it frees you up to still keep your mid-level exception because then you can sign him with bird rights, and then you maintain the use of your mid-level exception to continue to add to the team. So I think that that's something to look out for because the teams that all kind of were interested all made sense. The one that I would really look out for that was mentioned there is the Detroit Pistons. Now, I don't know if the Bulls would do a trade, but they have $14 million in cap space, meaning they don't have to send back matching salary for Lonzo Ball, 3.5 to do the percent matching, or they can send upwards of $6.5 million back to match it exactly. And then at that point, because they don't have that cap space next year, even if they don't use it this year with the contract, with the rise of contracts that they have coming up, they don't have any cap space. So if they were to try to use that to get a player in now that makes some sense for them, maybe there. But I tell you what, the one I'm terrified about him going to, could you imagine Lonzo Ball on the same team as Anthony Edwards?
They got that would be dangerous. That would be dangerous.
Or however many games he's healthy for, that would be a dangerous backcourt.
That would be dangerous. I mean, you'd have to watch your head a lot on that team. The Lonzo Ball point is a good one. I mean, I think they're both players to seriously look at. I think both of them help teams in ways that we don't see NBA teams getting help much anymore, right? Vuce, especially is just being a legitimate big, rebounding, scoring in the post. Lonzo, as far as being a pure point guard, those are still valuable pieces in the league today. It's just there's very few of them that you can go out and actually obtain. So, like, the fact that the Bulls have both of them and can't do anything with them is a benefit for the trade market that is out there. I think that Lonzo. The unfortunate part about Lonzo is if you're the Bulls, you have to just take what you can get for Lonzo, right? Like, It's not like you're sitting there feeling like, oh, well, we can hold on to him and maybe run this back again. Like, there's no way you're in that situation. You've had him signed for 4 years. He's played. Is he up to 50 games yet?
Yeah, he just passed 25 games. So yeah, he's approaching 60.
So he's played less than 60 games for you in 4 years. There's no way you can bring this guy back. I don't care if you feel like, oh, the surgery had an impact, it worked. You can't run this back because you know the possibility of what could come out on the other side. What kind of contract are you talking about possibly signing him to? Like, it doesn't make sense to me if you're the Chicago Bulls to bring Lonzo Ball back. So you have to just take what you can get. Vuce is a little bit more palatable, right? Because, whatever, at the end of the day, he's going to give me 20 and 10. I'm going to roll through whatever. He's going to be a solid vet on the team. I think that you can get away with Vuce more than you can get away with Lonzo.
Well, Vuce also has another year on his deal, and we know how expiring contracts work, right? So, like, Lonzo's the one that you have to make a decision on what you're going to do, or just let him walk away for nothing, because, I mean, those are your options. Like you said, I get it. I understand why people are saying, no, let's bring Lonzo back. I love seeing Lonzo Ball play basketball.
It is fun. I knew we were going to
watch him play basketball. Like, seeing him out there with the young guys, it's super fun to watch him play basketball. But you got to look at it this way. Like, if the Bulls know, and that's why the way I've always painted this, if the Bulls already know that they cannot take the risk of bringing Lonzo back on long-term money, you got to move him at this deadline.
Yeah.
Get something back for
you. Have no choice. But see, here's the thing. We keep saying they have no choice. We said they had no choice last year. We said they had no choice year before that. We keep saying this team ain't working. You have no choice but to change it. What do? They make a choice. And that choice is usually keep all these mugs, run it back. We going to play it.
That means they've made no choice because they don't do nothing. They just run the same crap back.
Oh, no choice is a choice. No choice is a choice, my boy. That means you made the choice to be trash. Y'all having a trash off up in this mug.
Man, that's I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm still leaning towards nothing happens at the trade deadline, just because that's what I've become accustomed and programmed to expecting with this Bulls team, is to expect nothing, because nothing happens with this front office. It's a bunch of possibility. But hey, like I said before, this is the P. Will of front offices.
Is P. Will in that conversation at all?
I don't think so, because I think teams are gonna. Here's the thing: could you move P. Will at the trade deadline? Yeah, worse players have been moved. But if you're talking about gaining assets back, then I don't think that you really get anything back from moving P. Will at this point, just unless a team really is just like, hey, the Bulls suck at development. We're good at development. We think we can get more out of P. Will than what the Bulls have. Which, if that's the case, I can't knock that logic at all if a team's having that logic, and the Bulls maybe can benefit from that area. So
that was the one thing when I brought it up over on the Chicago Bulls Breeze of if the Bulls were to trade for De'Aaron Fox, because they wouldn't trade Zach LaVine, because why would the Kings want to run back West Coast Bulls?
Exactly.
A Vooch, P. Will, and a pick kind of trade would probably be what you're looking at to make a deal like that happen, just because You're going to have to give them something that they feel has upside. Now they
For
have
who?
to
For
believe
De'Aaron Fox?
with De'Aaron Fox and Trey Lyles is what I put down on it.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen. They have no reason for Vooch while they have Sabonis. I just don't see. I get what you're getting at. I get your logic. I'm just saying I don't think the Kings bite at that.
Oh no, listen, I don't think
greasing up the lips mid conversation. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that, Pat. You just made me uncomfortable.
Got to stay greased up, dog. Got to stay greased up. Come on,
yeah,
now.
You know, I'm just talking to Haize. I gotta.
Mid conversation, your lips feel a little ashy. Would it be better if I licked my lips? I feel like chapstick is the better option. Feel like going regular chapstick is the better option here, dog.
We're going to continue this conversation to also talk about which one of this, not this conversation, this basketball conversation, and which Bulls young player has surprised us or stood out to us the most this season. We're going to get to all that right after a message from Game Time. Never a dull day as long as me and Pat not our only job, that's for sure. Attending NFL playoff games is an unforgettable experience that brings fans together. I don't know about you, Pat. I don't know when's the last time you got to go to an NFL playoff game. I haven't a lot since we've been on this side of the job. I need to get to do that again. But an NFL playoff game is just such a different energy. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I've recently used Game Time Picks to find tickets for upcoming NFL playoff game. Browsing through the deals was simple, and I found great value for all kinds of seats around the venue. The super deal was especially impressive, offering the best value for the event. The app features light seat views before you buy and all-in pricing with no surprise fees at checkout. Made the experience smooth and reliable. Plus, the on-time ticket delivery and lowest price guarantee gave me peace of mind. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code. That's LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. It's wild, bro. Wow.
I feel like of the two options, I went with the better one.
we had an ad transition coming. You literally just had to wait 30 more seconds. You could have behind the transition.
You said just do it behind closed doors. Don't do it on cam. All right. Greasing up the lips on cam was what threw you.
No, you're cool. But I want to touch a little bit more on the De'Aaron Fox conversation just before we transition into the planned second segment here. Would you, if the Bulls really did try to make an aggressive turn to get De'Aaron Fox, what do you think that would do for the team?
Here's the thing. Listen, he's got a year left on his contract, right? You're trying to convince him essentially to stay. You have no choice but to have him and Zach LaVine together. I think offensively that would be a good tandem to have. I know people sit here and look at this trade and go, "We have guards. Why would we want guards?" Because none of them are better than De'Aaron Fox.
It's just that simple. It's just that simple.
NBA is stars. Look at every team. None of them have a team of role players. Or I should say, look at every team at the top. None of them have a team of role players. They all have stars. Boston.
Or transitioning stars for like the Houstons and stuff like that. But yeah.
Houston has transitioning stars, right? Like guys that this is the season where you go, okay, they're taking that next step. Okay, this is a dangerous team now, right? Like you look at OKC, stars. You look at Denver, stars. You look at, name every single team in the NBA that's good. You know what the Bulls don't have? Stars. You got Zach LaVine that's maybe a star if you put the right pieces next to him, which I don't know if you can call that a star if he needs the right pieces next to him. But like you don't have players that can really make an impact in winning night in and night out. And if that's the case, I'm all for going out and getting stars. Now, do I think the Bulls will go get De'Aaron Fox? No. Do I think that De'Aaron Fox wants to be in Chicago? No. I think there's too many factors playing against you that the Bulls that will put the Bulls out of it. Plus, it seems like he wants to go to a team. But even this mindset here, no disrespect to Shea, but does De'Aaron Fox fit our timeline? We ain't got no timeline.
I was just about to say this. Unfortunately, right now the Bulls don't have a timeline. We don't know what our timeline. Like we could develop. We could be on an 8-year timeline. We could be on a 4-year timeline. We don't know. You know why? Because right now we have no direction. Here's the timeline. 25 years. Right now, that's the timeline. Is hopefully we can get something done in 25 years.
You know what I mean? Like, there is no timeline for this team. You don't have stars on the team. You exist in the league. You are a team that has to play basketball because you're a part of this league. That is the only thing the Chicago Bulls have a timeline on, is they have 82 games that they have to play, and maybe they'll get an 83rd. So, like, the De'Aaron Fox conversation to me is opening up you to having stars on your team. I know we want to build this team from the ground up and have it work, and we got a 30-year team. Most teams in the NBA don't.
I think that's starting to change, especially with the new CBA. But I agree. Right now, I think when you look at most of the top teams, they have a combination of young players that they drafted and players that they traded for. We'll see how that starts changing as the new CBA becomes more and more restrictive. But yeah, it's just you brought it up. It wasn't a topic here, so I thought it would be interesting to kind of get into and talk a little bit about. But with that said, part of the reason we don't have a clear timeline yet is because we have not had a young player step up and show that there's somebody that we can start building. I would even say this. They haven't had anybody that's shown we can even build with them necessarily yet. We've shown that they're exciting pieces that we want to see what we can get out of. But listen, as much as I love, I'll say Ayo. Ayo's a player that you can build with because he's so versatile in everything. Kobe's wildly inconsistent. I love Coby when he's on, but he's wildly inconsistent. It's hard to build something around a player that's inconsistent. Not even going to talk about P. Will. Dalen and Julian haven't shown nearly as much yet, and Matas is a rookie. But even without that, Pat, which one of these young players so far through this season has shown you the most? Which one do you feel has shown the most that you feel any type of confidence in, other than Ayo? Ayo just turned, I think, 24, 25 anyway, so he's kind of out of that conversation. We already know what Ayo is, and I don't mean that negatively. It's good.
It's good.
What do you think? Yeah, what do you think about the young guys, though?
Modest.
Okay.
Because he's the only one who I don't know what he's going to be. Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips are who they are.
In year 2, you're saying that about Julian already?
In year 2, I said it about Patrick Williams. What do we love about Julian Phillips? He jump high.
I mean, no, I love his defensive rotations. I think Julian Phillips has shown a lot of very smart defensive instincts. I just don't think he's played enough for everybody to kind of see it yet. But I get where you're coming from. I'm not arguing with you. I get where you're coming from.
He's got some solid defensive instincts, and he jumps high. That's a role player. I'm sorry. He ain't going to turn into Tony Allen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if Tony Allen jumped high. Tony Allen had a vert.
I don't know if he did. You know, Tony Allen may have been one of those people that did, but just never needed to use it in the game. I don't know.
Tony Allen didn't.
I can't remember Tony Allen catching too many bodies in his career.
Tony Allen had a vertical. No. Okay, don't worry about it. I tried. Hey, they don't even list the vertical. You know, you could just Google somebody's vertical. And it was like, why are you Googling Tony Allen's vertical right now?
Yeah.
No, for me, it's modest because he's the only one who you don't know what you're getting. He's the only one where you don't know what he's going to turn into. For me, with the rest of these young guys, Coby White will be a scorer in this league for a long time. He'll be a not an efficient player. He will be a volume scorer. He'll be somebody that can put up buckets.
36-inch vertical there for Tony Allen.
36?
36.
I shut up. Tony Allen had ups. I feel like Tony didn't body mugs.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he caught very many bodies in his career, but apparently in the draft combine, 36.5-inch vertical.
All right. Shout out Tony Allen. But outside of that, who do you got?
Yeah, I think it has to be modest, right? It has to be modest because P. Will started 250 games. I'm sorry. P. Will's he's not a player that you can build around. There's no conversation that we're talking about him. Where everybody was wildly impressed for an 11-point game. That shows you everything you need to know about Patrick Williams.
Yeah.
But Modest is the guy mainly because he not only just the raw intangibles that are there, but also because he's the only guy also that seems like he's driven to be great. Everybody else, like Matas is the one guy on this team that you look at and you have no doubt he wants to be great. Julian and Dalen are excited to be here. And I don't mean that as a knock. They're excited to be here.
Julian can't believe he's still on the team.
Bro, Julian is just like, hey, I made the NBA. I made the NBA. Like, I'm getting paid millions of dollars. I'm traveling around, bro. Like, I'm killing it. There's a bobblehead. Like, just Dalen Terry's just that guy that is like, hey, Dalen, did you see the new bobblehead shirt? He's like, me? Yeah, I'm happy about that. Whereas Matas is the guy that you could tell everything about Matas is driven by winning and standing out and being, and he wants to be the best at what he does. And it's been a long time since we had somebody who's actually had and shown that mindset in what they do. And I think that Matas has all. It doesn't mean he's going to get it, but he has all of the intangibles to potentially get there.
Yeah, no, for sure. It seems like he wants to bring the team that he grew up rooting for back to glory. So we'll see if it ends up happening. Even with that, I'm kind of just like, maybe we get Cooper Flag.
I mean, hey, well, yeah, you're on the Cooper. I've given up on the Cooper Flag thing. Plus, if the Bulls get lucky and get like a Cooper Flag, I'm sure he's going to be a bust.
He's going to suck. He's going to absolutely be trash.
It's just us. It's not against him. It's just that's a Bulls thing. It's not a Cooper thing. But we're going to continue the conversation, man. We're going to talk about Coby's pending return soon, right after this. No actual ad read there, but I've got fussed at about not putting that there. So there you go. It's there now. So there you go.
Peel back the curtain.
Peel back the curtain. Make sure you guys are also signing up for the Locked On Bulls daily newsletter. You can go lockedondaily.com to get a newsletter in your inbox every day written by me. I'm sliding in those DMs, but with Bulls news. So make sure you guys sign up for that at lockedondaily.com. Did we get you back on the website yet? Do you know if you're backlist? You know what? I don't think they ever took you off.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know if they ever took me off.
I don't think they ever took you off. Yeah, so you've been there. We said it was like you never left, so there you go. With that said,
oh no, they did take me off. It's just you on there.
Is it? Oh, they just gotta click a button.
I'll never be back, dog. It's all good.
I don't think they've updated that. That's you leave is probably the last time they actually updated it. Coby White is upgraded to questionable tonight against the Boston Celtics. Billy Donovan sounded really confident that he will make his return on this 3-game road stretch. Might not necessarily be today, but especially with Zach LaVine being out for at least the next 3 games is what they've announced. It could end up being more than that. How important do you think it is to get Coby White back?
Listen, it's big. Hopefully the offense comes quickly for him because you don't have a scorer right now on this team without Zach LaVine out there. I don't know if we mentioned it in the last pod either. It is believed that Zach is not out there because his wife is about to have their second child. So congratulations to Zach LaVine. Shout out to you. You're not sleeping for a while. And there goes the play. There goes the, hey, remember when he had his first kid?
That's their third child.
Is that their third?
Zach's been popped third in 3 seasons. Ever since Zach LaVine signed that contract, he's been like, all right, bet. Let's get to work.
Here we go. Wow, take this with you from deep. But no, the shout out Zach LaVine. Remember when I said, I was like, nobody's gonna talk about it, but I bet you this dude is exhausted dealing with a baby, bro.
I remember when you said that for sure.
Everybody was like, that's not an excuse. I was like, shoot, have a baby. But no, the getting Coby White back is going to be big for the Bulls. It just depends on which Coby White we get back. Listen, when Coby plays with confidence, when he's going downhill, when he's getting to the bucket, Coby White's one of the best scorers in the NBA. Bar none. When Coby tries to turn into the Stephen White, that Coby White is kind of a little bit iffy and very inconsistent.
He's not that type of player. He just isn't. Like Coby, people
and that's why you though.
When I used, huh?
Oh, he wants to be though.
No, he doesn't. He's actually not. Coby White scored mainly off drives. He's a guy who likes to put his head down and get. He only becomes that jump shooter mainly out on the perimeter when that's the role. When he was coming off the bench and they just needed 3-point shooting, and Billy Donovan was like, "Bam, we need 3-point shooting. You're the guy." That's when he took it. This year with Josh Giddey, him mainly controlling the ball, he became a jump shooter again. I don't think like Coby is a rhythm. He will take some crazy 3-point shots when he does get in rhythm, but how he likes to start getting in rhythm is actually driving to the lane. And Billy Donovan likes to make him a jump shooter. He's never been that.
Listen, I can't blame Billy Donovan when you're taking 10 threes. You know what I mean?
You
I
can
get it
when
if
your
you-
system is taking all threes. You're taking 53 pointers a game.
I mean, I get it, but that's also the league. But like for me with Coby will lock in on the 3 ball and just completely give up on driving to the bucket. I don't think there's ever a reason for that to happen. Like I get you're trying to take shots. If it's in rhythm, if it's a jump shot where the ball is moving to you, I get that, right? Where it swings to you, you're open in the corner, pull the 3. It swings to you top of the key, pull the 3. For me, it's when Coby just walks up the court. They throw the ball to him. He's at the top left wing. He just fires that mug up. Those are the moments where I'm like, all right, Coby, like that's not your game. That's not the game that we want to see you have. Yes, it's fun when you do hit it, and if you're hot, take the shot. But I think that's
When
not
you're
how
hot.
Coby
You're hot. Take the shot. Put that on the t-shirt.
Put that on a shirt. I think though, every player is what Nikola Vucevic said. They've got their spots where they get themselves going from, and then the rest of the game comes. For me with Coby White, that's getting to the basket. That's what I would like to see from him tonight. And then with the 3-point shot added to that, he becomes one of the best scorers in the NBA.
Yeah, he's not a 3-point shooter, but he is somebody that can get hot from 3. That's a big difference.
Yeah,
and that difference has to be recognized. Otherwise, you're just going to hurt your team. That just is what it is, right? So, yeah, I mean, Coby is the only real legitimate scorer we have, with Zach being out, other than Vuce. Of course, Vuce is a post presence, so it's a little bit different. And so, yeah, having him back can help add a little bit more structure. But I tell you what, though, I'm a little bit excited if Coby doesn't play today, but just seeing what the Bulls are going to do on offense from like a philosophical standpoint, just to see like, all right, what are we going to do? Like, are we really just going to just run? Like, just
give
run?
Matas the ball. Just give Matas the ball. That's all I want to see. Just give him the ball. Figure it out. These are the games where you figure things out about guys. The games you don't expect it to, right? Where it's like, hey, Matas, we're going to you a lot tonight. All right, I'm a sink or swim. Like these, and we know what they're going to do. Realistically, what they're going to do, they're going to throw the ball down to Vuce a ton. He's going to get 40 points in the post. Coby's going to add another 20 from 3 or from the field if he plays. P. Will's going to run up and down the court. Leroy's going to die on the bench, and THT's going to have a bad hairline. But like that's the consistent things that we have on this team. But the what I would like to see is the Bulls actually make a effort to see what you have in your young player in a game like this. You know, when I was out on P. Will, when everybody else was dead and they tried to get P. Will to take more shots, and he was like, you want me to shoot the ball?
You know who we're finna be tonight when we play, especially if there's no P. Will? We're finna be the 0-1 Clippers with Quentin Richardson, Corey Maggette, Darius Miles, where literally was just
Maggette was
run
on that team.
Run and try to dunk on everybody. That's it. They might as well bring the back. They might as well bring the knuckleheads back. Like, just do it, bro.
God, that mess used to crack me up. They'd be doing this down 15.
Exactly, bro.
And down 15 back then was like a death sentence. Like, it was over.
Bro, that was before the Clippers were respectable. But I tell you what, I used to love watching that team because there was at least once every 3 games where Corey Maggette would just look like, you'd be like, how's this guy not an all-star? And then the next game you watch, you be like, oh, that's why. Never mind. My bad.
Bro, it's so funny because like coming from an era where you literally could see mugs maybe 4 or 5 times a year. You know what I mean? Unless like I'm talking about like the mediocre teams. Like I saw Coby just about every game, right?
You just saw them when they played your team.
You just saw when they played your team.
Because they were never on national
Corey
TV.
Maggette,
yeah.
And he would hoop us.
Because he was from Chicago.
Like,
they always hooped us.
Unstoppable. Why can't we beat Corey Maggette? And then like you would see him like you would catch him like in another game, like the Clippers versus Lakers.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's not good.
Yeah, no.
Oh, he's solid, but like not good enough to stop them. It's just us.
Corey Maggette used to give us work every single time,
bro. I can't even remember. All my memories of Corey Maggette are him cooking us. I'm not gonna stop.
I remember when he did the double pump under the rim dunk one time. Like, was that Jalen Rose guarding him then? I can't remember, but I remember that game adamantly because I was like, that was like my freshman year of high school, and I was just like, I hate him. I hate this dude. I literally hate him.
Hey, Corey Maggette was a hooper though. Must forget that Corey Maggette was a hooper, bro. Balling in the NBA.
Yeah,
like that mug was absolutely like you'd be like, dang, he He getting at it. How do we just turn into that's how long it's been. We just turned this into a Corey Maggette props podcast.
Well, by the way, Corey Maggette is probably going to be the next Bulls play-by-play guy whenever Stacey King decides to retire.
Really?
Yeah, you know, when Stacey King had to sit out last year, he stepped in for Stacey King, and he's been down there with the Windy City Bulls.
Oh, shout out Corey Maggette.
Yeah, oh yeah, and he's good. Corey Maggette is good, bro. He's good.
It might be time, bro. I love Stacey, but we forcing nicknames at this point, bro.
Listen,
Lil Boozy Vert.
The Little Boozy Vert nickname alone. We got to start asking Stacey, is it just time to go, bro? Is it time to go ahead and retire?
Bro, the Lil Boozy Vert nickname.
I hate that nickname,
is the
bro.
worst thing. I thought you had to earn nicknames too, by the way. Remember that?
He did. He said, I stopped doing the nicknames. It has to be earned. This is the most forced nickname Stacey King has ever had. Little Boozy Vert? Come on, bro.
It's so bad. Stacey, we love you, baby. We love you. That was terrible. That one was horrible. Yeah. And now they running with it. Yeah. Now the Bulls are like running with it.
The Bulls' actual Twitter page tweeted it. Come on, bro. Anyway, any last thoughts, Pat, before we get up out of here?
I want to get Corey Maggette on the show.
I mean, hey, let's try to get it done.
Let's see if we can get Corey Maggette on the show. That'd be fun. Talk a little basketball with Corey. Corey, why did you hoop us every single time?
He's gonna say the same thing every Chicago player has, bro. Like it's the Bulls, bro. They got to make a statement, man.
Eric said that nickname is fire. That's terrible.
That's terrible. Eric has bad opinions.
Is this our old man coming out though? Like I also don't.
No. It's a terrible name. It's a terrible name. Right, like cool. Somebody named Eric can't pick nicknames. They got the most plain. Your name is Uncooked Chickens. His name is
Eric
Uncooked
with
Chicken.
a K.
It's still Uncooked Chicken name. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Make sure you guys are following us at Locked On Bulls. You can follow Pat at Pat the Designer. You can follow me at CEO Haize, man. We'll catch you guys after the game tonight. Love you guys. Go Bulls.
See you, Red Nation.
Eric.
We did fry Eric for no reason.
Listen, he's taking it in stride, bro.